We have a new development in the AEW action figure line saga, man. We have a new chapter into the saga here, but if you've been living under a rock or haven't been paying attention, I know we've talked about it a little bit here on the channel, but AEW and Jazwares have pretty much come to an end, man. We are no longer going to be getting AEW action figures from Jazwares, as we've discussed a few times this week, a few different videos on this topic, and we discussed it on the My Damn Creators podcast. If you guys didn't know, I have a podcast with WSC, Nate, WSC Stage Creator. You need to go check it out and go follow at the link in the description below. You can go check out the new episodes. We talk over an hour every single week about different topics around wrestling action figures, but there's a new chapter in this saga here. When asked about the status of the AEW Jazwares line, Tony Khan himself says there could be a change, potentially a positive one. He doesn't believe he can comment beyond it this time, as this was a part of the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor media call. Now, there's a few different things to digest with this news here, man. First of all, I think it was Dave Meltzer that actually asked this question to Tony Khan. First of all, is Dave Meltzer in the action figure loop? Is he in the wrestling action figure loop? That would be absolutely hilarious to even think about, but at the same time, you know, this is a Supercard of Honor, Ring of Honor media call, which I guess, you know, you can ask whatever questions. I know a lot of people get dunked on for asking different questions, but he brought up the AEW action figures during the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor media call, which I think is kind of hilarious at this point, you know. We say ball is life, I guess figures are life, and it's like, I gotta know what the hell's going on. And honestly, Dave Meltzer for asking that question and getting some sort of information here. So Tony Khan himself addresses this. Now, he didn't give us a ton, okay? He didn't give us a ton, but when directly asked about this, I didn't hear the audio or anything. I don't know if there is an audio, but we did get reportings of this from different places on X and stuff like that, on Twitter. And so Tony Khan says there could be a change, potentially a positive one. So obviously there's nothing he can add too much to the conversation when it comes to this entire news, but we do know that the AEW Jazwares line is done. You know, they let go of their team. Apparently that's been that's what everybody's been saying. There was multiple cuts, not just the AEW action figure design team or the AEW action figure team at Jazwares, but as we talked about a little bit, there were more than that. You know, a lot of people getting let go. And I don't know, again, I think that's just part of the restructuring of Jazwares at this time that we're, kind of seeing unfold here. But that's neither here nor there at this time. We don't know exactly all the details there, but the AEW Jazwares line is gone, and Tony Khan has said that there could be a change, potentially a positive one. So that's kind of weird. I mean, it's kind of a nothing burger, but at the same time, I feel like you can kind of read between the lines with this because, there could be a change. I think it's obvious there's going to be some sort of change, or that just means that maybe they're shopping who they're trying to pick up the license. Maybe they've been approached by a few different people on who wants to make these AEW action figures, but he says potentially a positive one, meaning, I guess, this could be good, that, this could be a good thing that we're no longer getting made by Jazwares. And, there's always some good and goodbye, as we know, as the saying goes. Shout out Carrie Underwood. But, there's some good here that can come out of things, and just because the AEW figure line is over from Jazwares, that doesn't mean that we can't get some absolute banger figures from another company, potentially. I've seen multiple people pitching who they want to see actually make the next AEW figure line, but he can't really give us anything more than that. He kind of gave you a little bit of teaser. It's kind of a PR answer. It's kind of a nothing burger, as we called it. But at the same time, it was mentioned. It was talked about. So I think that it's worth noting. But I want to kind of talk about a little bit of who could make these figures. Who would be the best candidate? And I want to know from you down in the comment section below who you think would be the best candidate to make AEW action figures in 2026. Obviously, it won't be 2026. If we get any AEW action figures actually revealed or shown off, it will be at least a year plus from now, probably more than that. It could be 2028, to be honest with you. It's going to be a while before that happens. Somebody's got to get the license, design figures, come to agreements, and then from there, it'll take a year to get figures to shelves. I don't even remember the timeline from when Jazwares agreed to make them to when they actually came out. Maybe if somebody has some information on that down below, you can let me know. But going through just some different companies, of course, I'm not even going to put Mattel on the table. They wouldn't even touch it. They're not gonna, it's kind of like EA Sports and the NFL or NBA and 2K. or EA Sports and college sports, whatever the hell, they're not going to allow another wrestling company get figures made by Mattel. It's just not going to happen. There's going to be a monopoly there. Mattel is not going to make any damn wrestling action figures other than the World Wrestling Entertainment. I guarantee you that. So that's not going to happen. To get that out of your brain, that will not happen. I don't know what I would do. I would shave my head if that took place. Probably shouldn't have put that out there, but yeah, I don't think so. Mattel's not going to make them. Hasbro, I don't think so. I don't think that Hasbro would pick it up either. I don't know. It just doesn't, I think it'd be an interesting thought. I would love to see what a stylized Kenny Omega would look like. You can look at their G.I. Joe figures, you can look at their Marvel Legends and have an idea of what they would look like. And I think it would be cool to see them pick it up. I just don't see it happening. I don't think Hasbro would create AEW action figures or want to pick that up. I just don't feel like they mesh together, I guess, as a company, or I don't know. It just doesn't make the most sense in my brain. I guess anything's possible, but I don't think Hasbro would step into the ring there. You take a place like NECA, and NECA's, they do make realistic figures. That's kind of been their forte. They do make all kinds of different licenses and crazy things. I feel like they're more into pop culture, really, which I guess you could say is wrestling, but not at the same time. I feel like they're more into movies and shows and, cartoons and things like that, and they do an absolute fantastic job doing those horror action figures and just, going outside the box and stuff. I just don't think they would also make anything. It just doesn't really fit into my brain. A company that I would love to see make AEW action figures, and this is just something that popped in my head, Jada, I think, would do fantastic, just for the simple fact, not necessarily that, they make Street Fighter figures, they make Scooby-Doo figures, they make Mega Man figures, they make a lot of really damn good figures for a great price point. They look fantastic, they have good packaging. I mean, they're kind of the gold standard to me, at least, not necessarily in terms of how they're portrayed or, being the industry standard, but as far as price point and how far your money goes and just the quality of it and the posability and feel in hand and all these different things, Jada is really damn good, and I think that they would crush wrestling action figures, but I don't think that they would be in the ring, but it'd be really cool to see them pick it up. You could always throw it back to Jax, man. Jax put their finger in the ring. I don't know, that maybe they can get in there and make something. They make some really good figures, especially in the modern day. I really appreciate some of the things that they do across their different licenses that they have. They have made some damn good Sonic figures and different figures like that. I have a lot of fun with their figures, man. So I don't know if they'd necessarily fit in the wrestling genre, but they still would be really fun to see. And then some other companies that pop in my brain that I would personally like to see. I would love to see Storm Collectibles make some AEW figures. They'd be a little bit more stylized, but I think they could make some really cool figures. When I think of a Storm Collectibles Sting figure with face paint and singlet and everything, that just sounds like right up I would absolutely love to purchase that, buy that, see that come to fruition, and I think they would absolutely crush it. Another one that I also would love to see, and they're not really, I don't know, I mean, I guess they're known about, but they're not too known about, but the people that make the Collegiate Legends figures, or Harvinger Studios, I think is who makes it, they have, I think it's Savage Crucible too. Whoever makes all those figures, unbelievable, man, unbelievable. They feel fantastic in the hand. They have unique sculpts. They pose well. They would be terrific to make the figures as well. I don't know how that goes, but that would be really fun to see. They're probably too small to handle that exactly, but I guess it would depend on the business model and everything like that. I don't know the entire thing there, but they make fantastic figures, and I want to give them a shout because they do great work. However, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if there's really a lot of candidates out there that would take on this, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know who could make this. I guess Super 7 is also an option that could make them. I don't know the best experience with them. I think they have made some stinkers in the past as far as Super 7 is concerned. I don't know how excited I would be if it were them that took over and they were the ones that were going to make the action figures for AEW moving forward, but I have liked some of their figures. They make some really good cartoon figures as well in the past. I just don't know, when you look at the Matt Cardona, I think that's a good figure. I don't know, it almost looks stylized, I guess. It's a little bit cartoony-esque, and then didn't they make some Andre the Giants that didn't look too good and, things like that, so I don't know. I guess it's possible. They've made a few different wrestling figures, though, so I don't know about them. I don't know. I guess it's just up in the air, man, whoever is going to step in. Now, obviously, if whoever picks it up, it's probably going to be a lot different model than when Jazwares did it, right? I don't think it would probably, I mean, I guess it could get pushed out to retail stores, but I think it would be a lot more controlled. I think you're only going to see top stars done, you know, the Kenny Omegas of the world, the Young Bucks. It would probably be MJF and Darby Allin and just these talents like this, Chris Jericho, Sting, you know, talents like this, maybe even Ric Flair, whoever they could do as far as legends go. I think that would probably be more of the avenue that they navigate rather than, you know, getting obscure characters or characters that not a lot of, you know, a ton of casuals or a lot of people would know about right off rip. So I think that would probably be the move. However, you know, you never know. You never know who's going to pick it up, but I thought it was interesting that Tony Khan came out and was directly asked about it by Dave Meltzer, no less, and he actually gave us an answer. Not the greatest answer or point blank, but he gave us something there that kind of leans into, hey, we may have something lined up that I can't really get into right now. And I mean, I don't know. I think that's enough for at least this stage, you know? I feel like we just got this news. This news is still pretty fresh on everybody's minds. I think this was last Friday. It's only been a week or so since that came out. So I think, you know, I think it's all fair. It's all fair. We'll see how it goes, but I want to talk about this. I'm sure this will be something that we provide daily to weekly updates on, depending on what we know and what we find out. So stay tuned to the channel if you want updates on this AEW action figure stuff. We will be here to cover it all as we get it, you know, and hopefully we get some damn good AEW action figures in the future, because I need more of these talents that I love to see in the ring, man. I need more Kenny Omegas. I need to see more Bucks. I need to see more MJFs and Moxes, and the world is the litter, man. Will Ospreay. I need to see more, man. I need to see more. So hopefully we continue to monitor it, man. But let me know what you think of all of this down in the comment section below. Who would you like to see pick up the license for AEW action figures? But I'm getting the hell out, man. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later.